And now we continue the broadcast of our business forum, Cuba 2021. Many Cuban experts have been on the virtual platform to exchange about business and investments in Cuba. And now we'll give the floor to the Deputy Prime Minister, Ricardo Cabrizas Ruiz, for the closing statement. Thank you very much. Good morning. Esteemed representatives of governments, chambers of commerce, agencies for the promotion of trade and investments, entrepreneurs from Cuba and the world, new economic actors, Cubans residing abroad who have accompanied us during the last 4 days. This second Business Forum, Cuba 2021, has been the trade and investment event, the most important trade and investment event this year, with special significance because it is taking place at a moment when the country is going into a new normality and it's witnessing the gradual recovery of its country. We are faced with a favorable situation which has been possible thanks to the results of science and research promoted by Commander-in-Chief Fidel Castro Ruz. More than 3 decades, we have developed 3 vaccines, Cuban vaccines against COVID-19. Abdala, Soberana Plus, and Soberana 01, with which we have immunized more than 90% of the Cuban population, and we have continued to make progress in the achievement of other vaccine candidates, Soberana 01 and Mambisa. These achievements by our science are all the more relevant if we consider the serious consequences brought about for Cuba the struggle against the COVID-19 pandemic in a context where there has been an unprecedented tightening of the economic, commercial, and financial blockade imposed by the government of the United States against our people, which has remained in force for more than 60 years, with the introduction of another 243 sanctions, which have remained intact by the present U.S. administration. The blockade is an additional challenge for Cuba. The damages accumulated after so many years at current prices overpass 104 trillion U.S. dollars, or worsening the economic problems facing the national economy as a consequence of the international COVID-19 pandemic. International trade has been affected with the contraction of production, consumption, and direct foreign investment. For almost the entire year 2021, there has been an upward trend among the prices of foodstuffs, raw materials, and fuels, which has been affecting mostly the developing countries. This situation has prevented us from having the necessary resources, affecting particularly sectors such as agriculture and industry. Despite this situation, we have continued to implement important transformations according to what has been established by the Constitution of the Republic, the guidelines of the economic and social policy of the revolution, the conceptualization of the Cuban economic model, and the National Economic and Social Development Program by the year 2030. The next stage, the next year, will witness the second stage of this program that will take from 2022 to 2026. We do not renounce to our economic growth development goals. We are optimistic. We intend to recover tourism and all the main production and services activities in industry agriculture, trade, construction, public health, and education, among other sectors. Cuba is intended to make progress by the year 2022 in the control of inflation. We intend to begin recovering the role of the Cuban peso within our economy and to give priority to the prices of goods and services which are vital for the population. We intend to stabilize the national electrical and energy sector. We will continue to give priority to the attention of persons, homes, and communities considered as vulnerable. We intend to strengthen the state entrepreneurial system, the main subject of the Cuban economic model, as well as to achieve greater autonomy at the municipal level to promote territorial development. Visitors, presenters, guests who have accompanied us this morning, the second Business Forum, Cuba 2021, from the quantitative point of view, has been superior as compared to the first forum, given the high and diversified national and international participation as well as the different modalities presented. More than 2,200 participants from 86 countries registered to participate, among them 8 government representations, 23 chambers of commerce, 41 agencies for the promotion of trade and investments, 1,262 business people from Cuba and the world, and 215 non-state management entities from Cuba. This time, for the first time, we put up a virtual fair in which 617 entities from 47 countries asked for putting up a stand. Among them, there are 5 government institutions, 5 chambers of commerce, 9 agencies for the promotion of trade and investments, 524 business people, and 74 non-state management entities. The most visited stands were those of the agro-industry company Ceballos, Caracol S.A., Flora and Fauna, as well as the non-state management entity stands Mercasa, Avangenio, Ex Citrus, and the Caguayo Foundation. The Business Forum webpage was visited by 6,000 users. The event was broadcast through streaming through the Cuban platform Picta. 463 persons downloaded, more than 6,000 visits, and 5,000 reproductions in the channel created for broadcasting this event. As from the very beginning, 45% of all participants showed their interest in trade and 4% showed interest in investments, while 51% was interested in both sectors. A total of 1,162 appointments were concerted among participants through the platform of the forum. From the qualitative point of view, the second business forum also has been superior as compared to the first, since we had presentations by executives from the main entities undergoing transformations in the country. There were also panels discussing updated issues related to our economy. The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Economy and Planning, Alejandro Gil Fernandez, gave us an update on the transformations of the Cuban economy as well as the perspectives for a further recovery in this complex context. Likewise, he addressed the results of the implementation of the National Economic and Social Development Program by the year 2030 with a very encouraging vision. The presentations made by the Ministers of Tourism, Energy and Mining, Agriculture, the Deputy Minister of the Food Industry, the Director General of the Special Development Zone of Mariel, the first Vice President of Biocua Pharma, have made it possible for us to have a much more accurate view of the moment we are living through, the challenges that we are supposed to face in the future in sectors such as tourism, biopharmaceuticals, agro-food industry, and renewable sectors, renewable sources of energy. The Minister of Foreign Trade and Foreign Investments introduced the new portfolio of business opportunities with foreign investments on a digital format which is accessible and dynamic, available to all entrepreneurs from Cuba and from the world. This new portfolio, as he pointed out, has 678 projects worth 12.5 billion dollars, including 60 new projects sponsored by the local People's Power Administration to further up the production of goods and services in all territories of the country, thus contributing from direct foreign investments to the local development. We emphasize the special presentation made by the Director General of the U.S. Division of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, denouncing the impact of the economic, commercial, and financial blockade imposed by the government of the United States against Cuba, against Cuban investments and trade. He gave light to two myths. The one affirming that the blockade has no real impact on the Cuban economy, and the one stating that this policy makes it impossible to have commercial relations and investments in Cuba. He emphasized that despite the blockade, Cuba continues to promote international trade to further up its economic and social development. The first Deputy Minister for Foreign Trade and Foreign Investments explained the possibilities for investments for Cubans residing abroad, very much in tune with our policy to strengthen links between our nation and its emigration as a follow-up on the dialogue started by Fidel in 1978. Cuba is now in a better position to increase businesses with foreign capital, including those with the Cubans residing abroad. We ratify the willingness on the part of our government and state to continue promoting the active participation of our compatriots residing abroad in the transformations of our economy and the economic and social development of our country. At the panel led by the Director General for Foreign Trade at Mingsex, started with the presentation by the Minister of Economy and Planning about the new economic actors of Cuba and their interaction with other economic actors. We realize the potential that exists between the interaction between non-state firms and state companies, a challenge that we will continue to While this event does not replace the International Havana's Fair, nor is it intended to do so, it is a very important forum to expand the participation of national and foreign entrepreneurs, the new Cuban economic actors, including the non-state management entities, representatives of governments, chambers of commerce, and agencies for the promotion of trade and for investments, which may be willing to interact and exchange with our island in terms of foreign investments. We intend to continue to improve our technological support to further expand the participation of economic actors as well as the facilities that might be offered by these platforms to visitors and presenters. We appreciate all those who have devoted part of their time to participate in this forum and as well as their valuable contribution to its success. We would like to especially recognize and congratulate the Chamber of Commerce of Cuba, the company RTV Commercial, the cooperative Pixel Solutions, the interpretation and translation enterprise, ST, the University of Information Sciences, UCI, and the scientific and technological part of Havana, the telecommunications company of Cuba, ETEXA, the entrepreneurial group Palco, and ProCuba for their active participation in the organization of this event. Thanks to the media for their permanent support. We recognize and congratulate the organizing committee as well as all executives, specialists, and workers of the Ministry of Foreign Trade and Foreign Investments who were involved in the organization of the Second Business Forum Cuba 2021. The experience that has been achieved in these two fora made it possible to affirm that the combination of the in-presence and virtual events is a far more enriching and effective experience in terms of the scope of the activities that are carried out and the possibilities for participation by those who are interested in the issues dealt with by the event and to overcome the difficulties that may come about. Thus, we officially closed the Second Business Forum Cuba 2021, and we invite you to participate in the third forum and the 38th International Havana's Fair to be held in November next year. Thank you very much.